Let's sit on the other side.
There you go. Hi, everybody. Etienne Mello from Royal LePage Mello Group. We're with Michelle today. How are you, Michelle?
Hello. I'm good. How are you doing?
Very good, thank you. Fantastic, actually. Thank you for asking. We talked a bit about that last time.
Saying
Remember?
Fantastic?
It's fantastic, even when it's not.
Yeah, exactly.
We have this little video at the beginning. You hadn't seen it. What do you think of it? Honestly.
It looks good. No, it looks good. I think it kind of puts all the videos more like cohesively together. So a little intro is always nice. I like it better than just starting it. It was
But we
nice.
should have it in English. This was, I think it was written in French, so we should have an English and a French.
Yeah, bilingual.
That would be better. So another week starts today.
It's a short week though, so
It is a short one for most. We wanted to talk about working from the office as a
exactly.
broker.
Yeah, so
The
just
benefits.
yeah, go for it.
Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna like phrase the question more in like a question format. Just do you think that it benefits the brokers to come into the office rather than working from home?
Yeah. Well, if you look at our 4 locations and if you look at the brokers that tend to work mainly from the office, who do we have? Not the names, but the bigger producing brokers, generally speaking.
Sorry, what was your question?
No, it's not. It's just a pause. I paused for a tad too long. It wasn't a question. I was just pointing out that most of our most successful teams, or the bigger teams in our in the 4 locations, tend to generally speaking work from the office. I strongly believe that you can't get the same amount of focus, the same amount of attention if you're working from home and with the distractions, the potential distractions. Now I'm generalizing, not saying that it's equal for everybody and everybody's got unique different situations. But if you're married, you have pets, kids, it can't be the same. And I like the fact of going to another location to call my work. I feel like I'm
a
more
reason
into the
to get up in the
mindset.
morning. Yeah, exactly. But I know now, like 21st century, work from home is a very big thing. Back in the day, I know brokers at the global office always say like, oh, it used to be packed 10 years ago, so many brokers in the office. Now everybody works remotely. And I mean, due to the situation we're in now, the pandemic, but also just in general, a lot of people prefer either to work on the road, to be home, maybe they have an office elsewhere.
Yeah, and if we go back in time, of course, the technology that we have today, access to the communication, the information was all paper or the old-fashioned way of just talking to someone face to face, and it was almost a certainty of failure if you did work from home because you couldn't communicate the way we can today. So now with all these tools and this technology, we can be working from home and with no problem. And when I say working from home, obviously, as a real estate broker, even if you're not in the office, you're working. Even if you have an office at work like it doesn't mean that once I get home, there's no work and there's nothing.
Right.
I just mean that you're going to be in an environment that's more prone to being successful, or if you're at the office, than if you're in your home and in your pajamas, or again, we're humans. The tendency as human nature is to take the least resistance, the more comfortable path. And so, we talk about always being the more we're disrupted, the more we're in a uncomfortable, a challenging way. That's what usually gives us the greatest growth. So it kind of all comes together if you're working primarily more from the office, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think for myself, I like coming into the office, at least maybe not like 5 times a week. If I was a broker, I'd come into the office, but I think it does help with even meeting clients. Like, you're not going to be like, you want to come over, or sometimes you're not always meeting them at their place. It's like a common area that you guys can meet up at.
Exactly. The teams, all of the, or almost, they can't. You don't want all these people coming to your home either. Most, again, I'm
Right.
generalizing, but if you're a team lead and you have 12 brokers working for you, or admin, or how are you going
Yeah,
to
it's a
do that?
lot of yeah, yeah.
It's kind of weird. Come in my house, and it's,
Yeah, no, I completely
so
understand that. Yeah.
right now, of course, with the restrictions, it's not possible. But in the next few weeks, hopefully, we will be able to resume and go back to our way of operating. And so
Yeah.
I
Fingers
certainly believe, and I've seen it over the last 20 years in the industry. The tendency is, I'm generalizing, not everybody. I'm not going to insult everybody if I say, no, if you don't work from the office, you're not going to be successful. I'm talking about getting to a certain level of revenue and a certain level of success. Generally speaking, you work from the office. And by the way, we have office space available, not a lot, but we have at our Beaconsfield office, we have at our Kirkland office, we have at the Saint Michelle office that we just opened. In Westmount, it's always full. It's been full for the last few years, but we are working on something that I can't talk about right now, where we're going to be potentially expanding. And so if you have interest and you are looking to be in an environment where it's going to help you to grow and develop your business, let us know. Reach out. So
amazing.
we also wanted to
Another
discuss another.
question.
Yes,
Yeah,
go for
exactly.
it.
Well, no, I just want to know, what do you think brokers spend a lot of time on that is essentially like a waste of time, that they could be focusing on something else, but they really value this thing that they do and it doesn't turn into something valuable?
Yeah, well, one of the things, and that's a good question, and I get this often. Doing too much research too fast. In other words, information is important, research is important, but if you're going to be doing, let's say, expireds or for sale by owners, or you're trying to research to make new connections, cold calling, direct marketing, whatever, it's not that important in the first stages to find out everything you can about the property. You see what, like, if you're going to be reaching out to someone calls you and says, I'm interested in selling my home. Can you come do an evaluation, or can you come and discuss a bit? Don't go too deep into research, because
Okay.
you end up, some brokers end up spending 14 hours or more just doing prep work, presentations, all that. Then the person calls you last minute and says, you know what, I changed my mind, I already listed with Johnny or someone else. Or you gotta go, just go meet them first, assess the situation, what's going on, do a bit of research, but don't spend 17 hours. Another great example, maybe this one's even better, is if you're going to do any type of prospecting, putting lists together. You don't need to know the whole history of who owned it for 17 years, and you don't even need to know the name of the person. Like, just get a number, just get an email, just get an address, show up. I'm
Yeah.
exaggerating, but I'm not. Like, am I speaking to the owner? Yes. Okay. Now, if there is an interest at the second time, or further down the road, we'll gather the information, the name and the history and all of that stuff. But it's not necessary in the beginning.
Right. I think that
So
goes a
that's a
bit,
big time waster.
yeah. No, I kind of agree with that. Like previously, I worked in more of a sales type job, and we wouldn't even really look at the person we were talking to. It's kind of something you find out as you're speaking to them. If you're on the phone, you can be researching at the same time. So I
There you
definitely
go.
think the first point, like the first touch base, doesn't have to be an
Yeah.
in-depth, knowledgeable thing.
No, because there's too many things that can happen in between
Yeah.
the time you do the research and the time that you're actually doing your presentation or your meeting takes place. You know,
Right. Yeah, 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 for
we do
sure.
meetings, as you know,
Yeah.
50% of the meetings or so, 40 to 50%, they just don't show up. So imagine if we started doing all this research about who we're meeting and what they've done and what they've accomplished and all that. That's hours and hours and hours of just pretty much wasted time. Wasted because the stats are that it's going to be 50% of the time they're just not going to be there. As a
That's a
broker,
great
you'll
point.
see,
Yeah.
well, you've experienced it in your other job, but
Yeah,
as a
yeah.
broker, I remember just, people making appointment with me, and it's 9 o'clock, and I'm driving down, and I show up at the door, knock on the door. Who are you? Well, we had an appointment, I would say, and I'm Etienne Meller with Royal Lepage of this. Oh yeah, shit, I forgot. Oh, we can't do it right now. Something came up, or oh, okay. And this happens a lot. So,
Yeah.
so you were in sales in calls.
Yeah. Not a call center, but for a startup tech company, I was in sales. So just um, selling a software type of thing. So
So
that
they were
was
telling you
prior.
just don't do too much research. Just make the communication and then see what happens and take it from there.
Right. I mean, the phone's ringing, it's a headset, so your hands are free. Like you could be doing stuff as it's ringing, as you're trying to get to there's usually like a
Mhm.
secretary or someone in between the person you want to call. So between all that, you can definitely do some research and get some information, which will save
It's
you
more.
time from like, yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
So,
make the communication, whatever it is, and then worry about the what you get in that. I know it's for some
yeah,
it's stressful and oh shit, I want to be able to answer everything and know everything, but that's not, you won't be reaching enough people, you won't be doing enough action taking in order to get the return hoped if you try to get all the information about everybody you're contacting. So
right. No,
very
for
interesting.
sure. Even when I was kind of looking for a place to buy, like you would get the listing, but I wouldn't even go so in depth into what I was gonna go see because half the time I would get there and it would be like the person's not home to let you see their house or like they didn't know you were coming, their agent didn't tell them. So it's like you came
That's
and
a
then
good
go
point.
home. Yeah, so
Like reading
both
through
ways.
the whole seller's declaration, or doing too
Yeah,
much research on a property that you just found for your client. Now that you might not even get to see it as you're saying and describing very so why do that at that stage? Now if there's interest, now I know I'm going to get the comments and the people calling, texting, "Oh, what do you mean you're not just?" No, I just, if you do more of the showing and more of the, you're going to find quicker the property without going through to, especially today. You
yeah.
don't have time to do any of that,
Today
nor
sold
should
the
you take
time
the
you
time.
got the seller's declaration.
So just go. They like it, then do the research.
Yeah.
Unless there's something extraordinary. But generally speaking, yeah, don't do all this research. And so, good point.
I
Good
agree. I
topics.
agree.
Thank you again for doing this. I know it's last time we had a hard time communicating and
I
the
know, I don't
connection
know what
wasn't
was
there,
happening.
but maybe it was my fault. I didn't. I think it was on Instagram and I forgot how to use it. I don't know. I'll take the blame. But you're here today,
Thanks
and
for having
two
me.
two great topics. Thank you, everybody. Again, feel free if you have any questions, write in the comments, and or visit us every day 2 o'clock, almost every day on Clubhouse 2 o'clock. Michelle's there, I'm there, the whole Mellow Group team is there,
Yeah.
and we'll see you again tomorrow. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.